Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. She is sponsored by Nishma Sam Yakashom Lab Sitzchok. We're holding in Basra Daf Kuf Ayin Hey. We're going to be starting Daf Kuf Ayin Dal and base towards the end of the Amud. We're 5 lines for the bottom. Omar Abuna. Shchimra shehigdish kol nechosov. Shchimra is about to die. He's giving all the nechosim to Hegdish. V'omar moneh leploini biyodi. Says, oh, but by the way, I forgot to tell you, I owe money to this person. He goes before Hegdish. Ne'eman. Why? Chazak Adam Oisek Kinunya al Hegdish. Chazak, that person is not tricking Hegdish. If he says he owes the money to this person, probably really owed it before he did the thing to Hegdish, and the Shibud was already there. You want to tell me someone tricks his children? Shimira is about to die, he said, so his kids are about to inherit him, and he says, oh, 1 second, there's a loan that I owe this person. If he said tnu, you have the word, I owe it and pay it, so they have to pay it. He didn't say give it. We say he didn't really mean to, that he didn't really mean it. He really doesn't owe the money. Why? Yeah, a person may come and say, he doesn't want people to think his kids are so rich. So he's about to die, the kid's getting his inheritance. He says, by the way, I owe $10 million to this person. So everybody feels, oh, this kids don't have nothing. So he's giving lie a little bit to take away from the effect and how much money he's giving them. Says the word of Kufay Nemud Aleph, so the person could say, I gave Hegdish Alam Nechasi, but I owe a lot of money. Maybe he didn't actually mean it. So the Gemara Kikohama Ravuno, the Nokit Shtor. We're talking about that the lender has a shtar. Says you owe me money. Says the Gemara Mechad Rabbi Shmuel the Nokit Shtor. And Rabbi Shmuel talking there's no shtar. And that's what he says. If when he's saying to Hegdish that he admits that he owes the money, you trust him. Right? In other words, he has a shtar. Maybe the shtar is not mekuyim. He said, we'll see the moment it's not mekuyim. He said, I admit the shtar is a good shtar. So you have to pay. Rabbi Shmuel talking about a case that there's no shtar. So if he said tnu, you give it to him. If not, so why? If he said no, you do give it to him. Milva Avo. For Rabbi Shmuel David Tavayu, Rabbi Shmuel, we learned earlier in the Masechto, Milva Pei no Goy V'Lomine Yoshev Lomine Kokos. You don't take Milva Pei from Yoshev. As we saw also previous daf, briefly more about this concept. Both of them talk about there is a shtar. In the case of Hegdish, it's Mekuyim. He has a shtar Mekuyim, he takes away from Hegdish. By the not Mekuyim one, if he said Tnu, so he made the shtar Mekuyim. If he didn't say Tnu, so then is not Mekuyim, you can't take it out. So he's answer the question, I have this question. If you could not shtar Mekuyim, tzichin l'meima, the ne'eman, what's the chiddush over here? Right? He has and also what's the ne'emanus says? He has a yakiyah. That's what he says. So the Torah goes on to all the kud over here. He says this helps. He doesn't have to do a shvuah. That's the main answer of Tesis. So says the Gemara, Amar Rabbo, Shchim Hashom Amon Leploni Biyodi. He says there's money. I owe money to this person. You're saying Parano. We said we paid it. No money. We say that they are trustworthy to say it. To no money Leploni, he'd say I owe the money. He said give it. For you're saying Parano, and the service said Parano ain't their money. So they're not Nemo. Says the moral Klap Elayo. Where is it turning to? Right? It makes sense to say the opposite. Oma Tnu money. He said give it. Makes sense that they paid it because the father said pay. They probably paid. He says I owe money, but he didn't say give it. It makes more sense. They said they're not parias. We just said a second ago. It doesn't mean say I owe money. It doesn't really mean it. He said to do. It solidifies the loan. So why are we saying that the opposite than the Svar? Says the Gemara. If you want to correct, that's what you correct. How did they pay back? President says, before he dies, I owe money to Shmuel. Coming soon and say, our father told us afterwards that he doesn't have to owe it, he paid it back. No money. Makes sense. He realized that he paid it back. He never said to pay it. says, I recall that I have money that I owe. Oh yeah, I actually paid it. If he says, give it, and then they said parati, any money. The means the pare, if we know that he paid it back, if the case is paid back, if he wasn't even sure, he wasn't even remember, he would never say pay, give, unless he knows for sure they didn't pay it back. Here we go into a discussion. Can he change his mind? Not change his mind. He has the ability to change his mind. Shchimera shehoida. Mal. The Shchimera admitted that he owes money. Does he have to say to the Eidim that are there, you're my Eidim? Or does he have to say that? Does he have to say to write it down or not? Do we say that a person is fooling, he's not actually serious? He says I owe it, but if he didn't say you're my Eidim and write it down, so he didn't really mean it. What did they buy? The Pashta, after the question, he came to an answer. So, person is not Mishate. You don't have to write it. You don't have to say write it, because whatever he says is already considered to be written, so there's no way to say it. The Bach here just fixed the correction. First of all, he said no, didn't say Atem Eiday. In addition, once we know there's a Mishate or not Mishate. In addition, if you didn't say Ksoiva, could you write it? So these are the two answers that we have. So the Mishnah. Amal is Chaver b'shtar goyve m'nechosim mishubadim. Someone who's goyve from his friend with a shtar. So he's goyve from nechosim mishubadim because shtar is goyve nechosim mishubadim. Al the eidim goyve m'nechosim nechoyim. With eidim, with no shtar is goyve nechosim nechoyim. He points out over here. Here's the makar. Here's the actual source that you have to have a shtar to be goyve from mishubadim. And it goes to the discussion that we say there's a difference between yorshim mishubadim or not, and that's a big discussion in the Rishonim over here, which we're not going to go into right now. It says the Mishnah of Kufay one base. He has a ksaviyad, a handwriting that says he owes money. We'll see in the Gemara more about that. You have a Orev who's written after the signature of the Eidim. So it's not Mechosim Shubadi because it's not part of the shtar. The Eidim did not testify it. But it's considered to be milvalpe. Right now, that was a story with the Arif written after Chidush starts. He says you can think of nechosim nechoim only. No, you can't. This Arif cannot take anything. You're not going to be going for anything. Now, just to clarify one thing. That the Ariv is going from the Ariv, because the Ariv doesn't have a shtar, right? So B'nai tells you don't do it. It's not a real Ariv. Why? Look at those. The Ariv wrote later, so it's not a serious Arivus. So the Gemara Amar Loi Lama. He says, why not? If it's after the Chasim, why not? Someone is, you see Reuven choking Shimon in the market, and he says, he tells Reuven's choking Shimon, pay me back my loan. Right? He's a mobster, he's beating him up. What's a chaver of Amar Anach live and he comes the Levi, he says, leave him alone, I'll pay. Patu. Shalom Munasil Vo. He didn't really malve, meaning on, he didn't really rely on this. It was just to save Shimon from the beating. So that's why the Ari over here is considered to be after. He wanted to just give additional guarantees, but he wasn't really part of the shtar. What is a real Ari? I'm asking, not after the loan came. Lend him and I'll pay you. The loan was based on the fact that there was an Ari over here. It wasn't just something that came after. Someone who wants to be smart, he has to be Dina Momnus. There's nothing greater than Dina Momnus in the Torah. For him, keep Mayan and Nervea. The Mayan and Nervea, that's Dina Momnus. He shall Shir Bananas. Yeshua was so impressed with Shir Bananas, says you want to be Dina Momnus, for Shir Bananas. And this is how the Mishnayos in this Masechta. And Be'ez Hashem, the Shur Machshav on the Daf, will discuss this ending of this Mishnayos, of this Daf. Stay tuned. Let's continue the Gemara. Amar Dvar Torah Chad Mal V'Bishtar Chad Mivalpeh Govim Chosov Shibodim. Mina Torah, the Chosov Shibodim should be, every loan should take from the Nechosim. My time is Shibud the Raisa. In the Raisa, you have a Shibud on the Nechosim. For the Matam or Mivalpeh and Govim Chosov Nechosim. So why do we say that you're not Govim Chosov Shibodim if you don't have a Shtar? We should save the Lekochos, so the buyers will be saved. Yachi Mila Bishtar Nami. So also Mila Bishtar, you should be able to you should say that you can't take from the buyers. Hosom Inu Ninu Davsidu Anamshu. That was their problem. Why? Why did they buy this property? They should have known better. Right? They should have known better. Because there is a shtar, there is a coil, there's a rumor, you should have checked it out. Here's an interesting anakuda. We'll get to taste it in with what about the Yorshim? The Yorshim, they didn't do anything. They didn't buy. They just inherited. So we don't have the survival that they caused themselves to do it. So right now, according to this man Domar, okay, the rice you're going to Milchot Shubot. For Rabbi Omar, Rabbi was the opposite. You really should be going only from Nechasim, always. My time is Shibud allowed the rice, but the rice is no Shibud. My time, so why are you going to Shubadim? So the lender should be able to lend. They're not going to lend if there's no way to extract the money from the karka. So also should take it from the karka. There's no coil. So therefore I can't take it. You can't take from the, if there's no coil, so the coolers don't want to be careful. But if there's a coil, so they have to be careful. And here comes the question. By Yoshim, if you didn't do the right, so you can't be good for it. So why are you taking from the Yoshim? You have to come to say, the Svar of the Gemara, that Shlotina does, even though it's not their fault. So that's a kusor. Is it their fault or not their fault? They just rely even without their fault. So we're doing this early in the Masechta. The Rabbah says that you go to karka, then the karka is meshubet, and you take it from the Yeshiva. No, need not. And as the Bava brings over here, Rav Nachman says the opposite. Maybe we'll turn around. We see the Gemara Bava Kama that says that the Raisa Balchov is going there from a karka, just the lowest karka, but you see the shibud of the Raisa. So Rabbi just came to explain that the sugi over there that it says that you could karki yeshloi. The Rabbi says that they say pishtai b'milvim mekarke. Came to explain maybe Rabbi said karka is more meshubah than was. He himself holds that there's no shibud at all. So Rabbi Shmuel Daimar Tarvayu. Mal v'alpe ein yogoyve loy b'nei yoshim v'loy b'nei nekochos. Not goyve at all. My time, shibud allowed the rice, right? So it's a shibud of the rice. So it's not goyve even from the yoshim. Aricha yoshim lokish daimar Tarvayu v'alpe goyve b'nei yoshim b'nei nekochos. It's v'alpe goyve from both. My time is shibud the rice. So you are goyve from both. Says the Gemara Meisivei. A chayfer. So just to mention, just to see, Rabbi Yochanan Shlokish here seem to be saying that you're goyve even milva ba'alpeh from the lekuchas because there's enough koil but milva ba'alpeh to go your goyve. So what Meisivei a chayfer bo b'shus rabim. Someone digs a bor b'shus rabim. V'nofa alav shor v'aragoy. An ox goes, falls, and kills the person. Pater. The shor is pater. Why? Because it's his fault. He dig a pit b'shus rabim. Not only that, but if the shore died, so the owner of the bar needs to pay for it, which is his kids. So you see, you take from the Yershim, right? Clearly you take from the Yershim. It's a bilval pay, and you grab from the Yershim. Says the talk about that he was Oymid Bedin, and he was Chayav, Oymid Bedin, and because of Milu Bishtar, and then we go like Gemara that says Milu Bishtar, you do goyve. Says the Gemara, V'aragok Tani. It says over there that he killed him. Actually, he killed him right away. He didn't die right away. He became treifa. He went to Beis Din. Beis Din said that he's chayav. He says in the Brisa that he died on the spot, and that was his kever. That became his grave. It says more the Yasir the Yonah the beer that the Yonim were there. The shard falls on him, and he's treifa, he's about to die. Beis Din says, as you're about to die, let me just tell you, you have to pay for the shard, just in case, interesting scenario. And that chiyuv now is it called chiyuv b'shtar, and you take it from the Yisrael. Says the Gemara of Kufay Bava Dalef to conclude the sugya. Omar Papa yichaso mil v'alpeh goyim min hayoshim ve'enu goyim min hakuchos. Mil v'alpeh you take the yoshim out from the kuchos. Goyim min hayoshim the shlotin on delv from living. You're right. Mil v'alpeh really should not take mina from Mishubadim, but you do it because of shlotin on delv. And goyim min hakuchos the least call there's no koil. Right? So that's what he holds. Meaning, seemingly, he holds she would have loved the Raiso. But the Taisa says that it works according to both. Right? In other words, even if you hold Shivud Deraisa, the Mil Valpeh, you still we say Mil Valpeh is you don't have enough Shivud over here. But you got to be Yosh Shot in Dallas, but not in other Kochos. Okay. There's a lot to talk about in this daf, but we'll stay here with the Pashim Shot.